I told my wife it's not cute for her to encourage our teenage daughter to expect her boyfriend to pay for everything in their relationship. So our 16-year-old daughter, Christina, has been dating this kid, Gabriel, for 6 months. Sweet kid, works at Target after school, saves every penny he makes. But my wife keeps filling Christina's head with this old school nonsense about never paying on dates and letting boys be gentlemen. It started small. Gabriel would buy Christina coffee, pay for movies, nothing crazy. But my wife would praise Christina every time she came home talking about what Gabriel bought her. "Oh, honey, isn't that sweet? He's such a gentleman. You deserve to be treated like a princess." I tried talking to my wife about it multiple times, but she kept brushing me off. Said I was being too modern, that boys should want to spoil their girlfriends. She'd tell Christina stories about how her father always paid for everything when they were dating, how that's what real men do. Things escalated fast over the summer. Christina started expecting more expensive gifts. First it was a $80 perfume, then designer earrings, then a Coach purse for her birthday that cost Gabriel 3 weeks of wages. Last month, Christina comes home wearing this gorgeous $150 silver necklace with matching bracelet. I'm looking at this jewelry set thinking that's probably Gabriel's entire month's paycheck. When I asked Christina where she got it, she just shrugged and said, "Gabriel saw me looking at it at the mall and wanted to spoil me for our 6-month anniversary." My wife overheard from the kitchen and goes, "Isn't that so romantic? He's such a thoughtful boyfriend. Christina, you're so lucky to have someone who treats you right." I pulled my wife aside later that night and said, "We're literally raising an entitled brat who thinks boys exist to buy her things." She got defensive, started yelling about how I was being dramatic, and that it's completely normal for teenage boys to want to impress their girlfriends with gifts. But I started noticing things about Gabriel that worried me. The kid looked thinner every time I saw him. He was always tired, seemed stressed when he came to pick up Christina. She'd mentioned casually how he'd stopped getting lunch at school, said he claimed he wasn't hungry anymore. When I asked Gabriel directly about it, he just smiled and said he was trying to eat healthier, but something felt off. Then 2 weeks ago, Gabriel's 14-year-old sister Violet showed up at our front door in tears. She was shaking, asked if she could talk to me privately without Christina or my wife around. Turns out Gabriel had been skipping lunch every single day at school for the past 3 months to save money for Christina's gifts. The kid was literally starving himself, living off whatever free breakfast the school provided and dinner at home. His sister found his budget notebook hidden under his mattress, where he'd calculated exactly how many meals he could skip to afford Christina's Christmas present. Violet was terrified because Gabriel had fainted during basketball practice the day before. Coach made him sit out for the rest of the week, told him he looked malnourished and needed to see a doctor. Gabriel begged his sister not to tell their parents because he was afraid they'd make him break up with Christina. I felt absolutely sick to my stomach. I immediately drove to Target, found Gabriel restocking shelves in the electronics section, and pulled him aside, handed him $100 cash, and told him to buy himself lunch for the next month and to never skip another meal again. The kid actually started crying right there in the store, said he couldn't take my money because Christina would be disappointed if he couldn't afford her Christmas gift. I told him that wasn't a request. When I got home, I called an emergency family meeting, told Christina everything her boyfriend had been doing to afford her lifestyle. She completely broke down, said she had no idea Gabriel was literally hurting himself to buy her things. My wife tried defending herself, saying she didn't know either, and that Gabriel should have said something. I absolutely lost it. Told her that her romantic traditions and constant praise for expensive gifts had almost put a 16-year-old kid in the hospital. Christina immediately texted Gabriel apologizing and insisted on paying for their next 10 dates. She also made him promise to never skip meals again and said if he ever felt pressured to buy her anything expensive, she'd break up with him on the spot. Now they split everything 50-50. Christina got a part-time job at the local bookstore specifically to pay her own way. Gabriel's gained back all the weight he lost and made varsity basketball. My wife finally admitted she was completely wrong when she saw how much happier and healthier Gabriel looked once the financial pressure was off. She even apologized to both kids. Sometimes protecting children means protecting them from your own family's toxic expectations and outdated gender roles.